Despite what their moms told them, they just aren't talented enough for radio. Unfortunately, anyone can have a show these days. Sean.
Well, I'm pretty hard to figure out sometimes. In fact, I can't even figure myself out sometimes, so don't you try to.
Joe.
You're an idiot and really a disloyal person.
This is the Cuse Militia. Those two unapologetically biased, orange-blooded homers, Sean and Joe.
It's the most bullshit thing I've seen in 30 years.
Welcome, orange men and ladies. Happy Sunday. This is the Cuse Militia with Sean and Joe. At Cuse Militia on the socials. Go there, join the militia. Thanks for tuning in, hanging out with us. We appreciate all of you. Syracuse completes the BC sweep with a 76-56 win over the Golden Eagles for the second time in 11 days. You'll hear from us, and we'll hear from you and fan feedback in the orange with a quick turnaround, but they do get to remain home in the Dome tomorrow against Georgia Tech. So this is a rescheduled game. Tip is set for 7, and the last I checked, they did not have TV on here. I'm checking right now. And they still don't. So I guess you'll have to be on the lookout for that. So we'll let you know what we think about the Yellow Jackets coming up. So if you have not checked out our overtime episode with Tyler Morona, it's not game breakdown stuff, but we shoot the breeze for about an hour and a half, and it was fun. And as soon as basketball season finishes up, maybe we'll do something like that again. I got some good feedback on it. I didn't get any bad feedback on it. Let's put it that way. So with that said, let's take a listen and see what Coach had to say after the sweep of Boston College.
I think our defense was pretty good. It was pretty good inside, but they got off to a bad shooting start, and we did too. We're making some really bad turnovers early, and gave them some baskets. Then we started to move the ball better and got in good position. The second half, when they made a little run there, we missed probably 4 in a row shots we can make, but you're going to miss those sometimes. And timeout, we had Jimmy try to get to the basket, and if he couldn't get there, to turn and find Cole, and he made the 3. That was the bucket. We really needed that basket, and then the rest of the way we're solid. But overall, they struggled to score against us. Their outside shooting isn't as good as it needs to be, but it's a good win. They just went to overtime at Notre Dame, and they play hard. They really play good defense. They make it hard for you to get shots.
Jim, coming into a game like today with Barama not having played in almost 2 years to that, did you ever think you'd get 18 minutes out of him?
I mean, he's been pretty good in practice. He's practiced the whole practice. He hasn't come out. He hasn't had to go in the locker room or training room for the whole practice for a couple, 2-3 weeks now at least. He's just, his timing's not quite there. Balls that he would normally catch and put in, he's just not quite there yet.
Do you feel like you guys were closing out, or were they just kind of missing?
We're better. We made him take secondary shots, didn't let him get the first one. I thought we did a good job defensively overall. Benny forgot to close out in the first half, and he knows that he's got to come up there, and he's got to learn that. We can't let that guy shoot in the wing. Having the fans is good. I'd like to see us get back to normal. Hopefully we can get to normal someday soon.
Jim, to piggyback off that question, to see Barama come in and do what he did today and give you guys some really good minutes after the adversity that he's gone through with the injuries over the years, just how awesome is it to see him kind of get back and put some good minutes out there?
He's a great kid. He's one of the best kids we've ever had here. He doesn't complain. He just keeps going. And when all you're doing is getting treatments and not playing, it's awfully difficult. It's been ongoing for 2 years, and he's a good player. He was really, it's a shame because he was really rounding into a really good player, and I'm hoping we can get him back a little bit closer to that. I don't care what the record is. They're going to keep playing. They're going to keep working. That's all you can do. We're getting ready to play the next game. In life, you try to learn to have a good day the next day. It doesn't matter how many bad days you had. You can have 100 bad days, 200 bad days. That doesn't mean you're not ready to play and go get the next day. And that's what this team has done all year. We've had our disappointments, but they're always ready to play. They always get ready to go. And sometimes our goodness hasn't been good enough, but it's a great group. They've done everything we can. They come in extra when we're off. They're in there lifting, running. Cole's in there. Joe's in there in the morning. Side Buddy, all those guys. They're all in there, extra.
Can you speak to just what Rama's been through in his career?
Yeah, it's tough. 2 years not playing. The last part of his junior year, he was averaged a double-double against some of the better teams in the league. He was really good, really good. And he's trying to get back. You can't miss that much time and be that. But he never complains. He tries to do everything he can to help his team win. And, he's a great guy, great teammate, great guy to have on your team. And I think that he can contribute as we go down the stretch here.
All right, we welcome a new sponsor. The Coach Montage is brought to us by Athletic Greens. Tons of people take a multivitamin. I do. Joe, do you? Do you take a multivitamin?
I do.
You do. So do I. Well, great. Because it's important to choose one that is top quality. With one delicious scoop of Athletic Greens, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens. Adaptogens are an adaptogenic herb for the nervous system, in case you didn't know. Okay. They help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients helps support gut health, the nervous system, as I mentioned, immune system, energy, recovery, focus, and aging, Joe. So maybe you can get some of that hair back or something. It's lifestyle friendly, adapting to a wide range of diets. It contains less than 1 gram of sugar and no GMOs, no chemicals or artificial anything. Plus, it costs less than $3 a day. It's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition, especially during cold and flu season. You just put in 1 scoop of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills or supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. The vitamin D, very important for, well, especially the COVID. In case you didn't know. I know they didn't come out and tell us that until, 14 months had gone by. But very important. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/sportsdrink. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/sportsdrink to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutrition insurance. Okay, Colorcast is a live audio-only sports talk platform, free to download news, talk to us, other fans, athletes, and insiders in real time, perfect for watch parties, debates, post-game breakdowns, and reacting to breaking news. Share your experience on the app. Go to your iOS or Android store and download it, create a profile, link it to your Twitter, and join a group. Follow us at Cuse Militia to be notified when the room goes live. We will set up some Colorcast stuff, but obviously, our main route of interacting with you guys is the Spotify Green Room. We use that live here on the show, and the Colorcast stuff will be something extra. So, which is kind of ironic, because a couple people requested some extra stuff. I think even one guy was like, start a Patreon, we'll pay for extra content. I'm like, no, we're not taking your money, okay? Instead, we'll do the Colorcast stuff and see how that works, maybe for some extra content once in a while. And maybe we got to stop being a little lazy and get some of the video footage up. It's like one of those things where it's like, it takes work and time. So thank you, Athletic Greens and Colorcast, but it does take work and time to get the video stuff up. So,
Yeah.
But it's when you get it up, it's worth it, I suppose. And it's fun. If you can find something funny, it's always good. So, anyways, yeah. So let's start at the top of this thing, Joe. Look, obviously, the story of the game, besides the win, was Brahma. So that's why the montage was a little long. I wanted to put everything in there that Coach had to say about Brahma. It was the focus of the post-game press conference. And by the way, welcome back to the press pool for being live and not on the computer. And it's finally here. And we're so happy to have. Now, this happened before and they went back to Zoom, but I think it's time. So SU needs to get with the program and just go ahead and join the rest of the country and world, actually. In fact, if you really think about it, I think SU is one of the last entities that's doing this. So in the world, okay? So anyway, slow start shooting for both teams, Joe. We had to watch some softball first before we got to the game. But BC struggled the most out of the two. And, Syracuse actually didn't finish bad. 56% from the floor and 43.5 from three, which is really good. So they cleaned it up and went on a couple different runs, but 17% from the outside for BC. And that's just not going to get it done against Syracuse, because eventually Syracuse most of the time is going to hit their shots. Right, Joe? So you're going to have to do better than 17%, 5 or 28 from three.
Yeah. When you see games like that, you wonder where the defense has been all year, right? And you're just like, good.
Exactly.
If they just played like that, then, but then also you need to put into effect the competition as well. Now, I think in twice now, Boston College has kind of proven that they don't have the offense and the players to beat us. They got some good big men that put up some good numbers. Quentin Post and Karnick actually showed up this time with 11 and 11. But other than their big men, everyone else seemed to have really struggled. Same kind of his last game. I know Zachary had a bunch of points at the end of, or the second half, the first time we played. But I think we both kind of knew that it was going to go this route, and it had to be it had to be way uglier than what it was for Boston College to really even have a chance. So don't mind that it was ugly because of the lead that they pretty much held. It seemed like they had control of the game. And we haven't had that many bench minutes in quite some time, and or at least it's not normal for us to get that many bench minutes realistically. But you're talking about 47 bench minutes, and we normally don't do that. So I'm glad the first game going into this crazy stretch of a game every other day is what it's going to seem like, and I'm glad that Sidibe got some minutes under him, and Torrance got back up close to the 20-minute mark. Even Benny had 7 minutes with some activity. So it was good to see them not really burn out the starters, get an easy win going into this stretch of games.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned Benny. He hit a field goal, finally hit a field goal, and, hopefully he can be a little bit better. You heard Coach kind of get on him about some of his rotations. As you mentioned, the defense was much better this game. Now we are dealing with, a Boston College team that's struggling, and, but at the end of the day, it's still ACC basketball. I do take that into consideration, but it's conference play, and just because you're winning the games you need to win, that shouldn't diminish the goal of being able to do that. And it's not always easy. As you heard Coach say, Boston College took Notre Dame in overtime. So, I mean, any given day, any one of these teams can beat the other, as we've seen. So,
and they beat Notre Dame early on in the season, and they beat Virginia Tech. So, Boston College has proven that they can come and beat you if you don't show up.
Right. And, they've struggled offensively a little bit, and that's kind of been their issue. But 15 turnovers too. First of all, they couldn't hit anything. 15 turnovers turned into 23 points for Syracuse. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's excellent. And their shooting in the first half was atrocious. They just couldn't recover. 9 for 32. and then 1 of 14 from 3-point land. So, but let's move on. You mentioned Sidibe a little bit, and Coach with a ton of praise for Sidibe. We always knew, first of all, he's wildly smart. He's a wildly smart guy, and he is a class act. And the kid's been on a PT and just a grind for the past 2 years. We all remember the game is approaching 2 years ago now, going into the ACC or in the ACC tournament, the win against North Carolina, and it's just like, can you believe that it's 2 years ago? We are on the cusp of that being just right at 2 years. That is crazy. That is crazy. Yeah. When all this madness started, that is nuts. But we sat here last episode and said, I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. I haven't seen it all year. Coach mentions he had about 3 good weeks of practice, but you got Jesse and you got Frank. And it's probably just a matter of him just being able to have the opportunity maybe to do it. But the conditioning, he played 18 minutes and 2 points, but 4 rebounds, 2 blocks, and 2 steals. And he was active. And you saw him getting out on the wings, Joe, and he had a killer block out there. And, being able to close out like that and have that ability still is something that Frank struggles with a little bit. So to split minutes right now with Frank, he had kind of a rough game. And to be able to lean on Sidibe for some of that. I don't like Jimmy in the middle, obviously. It's not great. But, we'll see little by little if Sidibe can get in there and make a difference towards the end of the year, right, when it needs to happen, right?
Well, yeah, and that's what we spoke about last game, right, is that this is like Sidibe's, he's the swan song, He came back to just be part of the team, more probably for school, and realistically just to help the team whatever he could. He was perfectly happy, just doing his PT, getting the practice reps and helping the team in that way because of how good Jesse was playing. But now it's like, okay, there's a little bit of an opening for him to come in and actually affect this season and go out in a positive, not to say that we think about him in a negative way, but just like you said, it's been 2 years and he's just been trying to get to the point where he can run and jump up and down the court. Let alone catch a ball, put it in the basket, all these other things. You see the little timing things and all that other stuff that he's it's a little off, and Coach had mentioned that. So just, it's encouraging. He's going to give it all he's got. They even talked about it. We knew about it in the beginning and everything, and he's talking about getting into politics, possibly in his home country and being a diplomat and stuff like that. That's the type of guy this person is off of the basketball court, right? So he's not looking to play professional basketball. This is going to be his swan song as far as on the court goes, and he's going to give it all he's got until those knees give way. You can still be a diplomat with bad knees, and right. At the end of the day, this isn't going to stop him from what he was born to do. But he damn sure can come out on the court and help us out if this is the type of energy he's going to get. And I only expect him to get better unless those knees start acting up again. So I'm happy that he's getting this opportunity, and hopefully, the fans can enjoy Barama Sidibe like we did in that ACC tournament 2 years ago, and hoping for him to actually be somebody that can affect this team in their wins and loss column.
And for someone who is in the system, been in the system and knows the system, the timing things and all that stuff, it's not going to take that much time. His biggest issue was staying healthy and being able to stay on the court. So if he's good there, that timing stuff, that'll get fixed. I'm not even worried about it. I was wildly optimistic after this game for Sidibe. Biggest story of that to come out of this game, and I just couldn't be happier for the guy. Obviously, a big deal for Sidibe and Syracuse trying to finish out this year without Jesse Edwards. So, as we mentioned, the defense is a little better. Coach, once again, I love how Coach adds these things in there, and then no one follows up on it. Nobody ever follows up on, the fans are good, need to get back to normal. How many times has he said that? And there's crickets. Nobody ever, no one touches it, which is, it is hilarious to me, but that's fine. Look, beating a dead horse here. It's time. This is ridiculous. The most entertaining thing that I seen yesterday as far as Twitter went was I quote tweeted James Zuba from News Magician about the crowd, and the crowd looked decent on TV once it filled in. Spread it out a little bit. It looked okay. They're saying 23,000. That was the big dust up on Twitter. 23,000. No way was there 23,000 there. There might have been.
Every time you saw the pan out and you could see the level 3. I mean, come on.
Yeah. No. We're not 7,000 short of 30. No way. So that was the big dust up on Twitter. If you're there, you can go check it out. I tried my best to stay out of it because I can't take my day. I got the show. If I really want to say something, guys, I'll come on the show and I'll say it. But, Cuse Waterboy took, he carried the water on that one for us. So but one thing about Cuse Waterboy, and I don't always agree with him, obviously, and he knows that, and I know that he doesn't always agree with me.
But that's okay.
Right. But because we're respectful of one another, we've had long conversations on DM, via text, and you can still remain at odds in your opinion and still be able to get along. This is why I try to tell people who send us the nastygrams all the time. Look, we disagree. Don't be mad at me because I don't agree with you. I mean, what kind of crap is that? I mean, I have to agree with you for you to be okay with me. I mean, it's stupid. It's not how it works. But at the end of the day, if you cross Tony, he can get nasty. So, it's entertaining to me. I'm sorry. Yeah. I got to be entertained by something on Twitter. So, anyways. I like how Coach finished up. I put it in there about the guys, no matter what the record is, they're always going to go out there. They're conditioning, they're lifting, they're running, they're in there together. They're kind of a tight-knit group. I think that was something we missed last year, especially. Maybe a little cliquey. I don't know, but, these guys seem to get along. They enjoy one another. They're playing as a team. They do go out. You can see it. I mean, I feel like you can really, really see the effort in the camaraderie this year, more so than I think the past couple years. So not for anything, regardless of where we're at, this team's not going to give up, and that's always good. That's always a good look, right, Joe?
Oh yeah, I mean absolutely, and it seems to me like it doesn't really matter when people get subbed out and all these other things. I mean, sometimes people look upset; they're in their feelings. Obviously, no one likes to come out of the game, but I like how Jim's kind of played around with certain, lineups and rotations, and obviously losing Jesse just brings another element. I mean, we saw John Bull get 4 minutes, and again with Samir coming out 17 minutes, 5 assists with 1 turnover and a steal.
It's good. That's what he's there to do, right?
Right.
I mean, he had 4 rebounds and 5 assists.
Joe played 28 minutes and had 1 assist and 3 turnovers. So. It's one of those things where we're going to see the 3-guard lineup. I'm imagining we're probably going to see it against Georgia Tech. They play a bunch of guards. We're going to see times where we go small and Jimmy's in there, or, Frank's in there, and then we bring in Parama because Frank's not holding his weight. Like, we're going to see all these different, rotations. And it's nice to see that it's starting to get a little bit more normal, and people are starting to, get over the fact of, especially Joe, when it comes to that. We all know that he's been the one, and and it's not a secret. The coach has talked about it. The coach has talked about how if he doesn't get started on the offensive end or he makes some mistakes, he takes himself out of it. This game, he only played 28 minutes.
We've noted that since he was a freshman.
Right. And, he played 28 minutes, had some bad turnovers, got taken out for him. Sai came in, played good, came back in, 3-guard rotation with Sai playing the point, and he got back on track on offense.
Buddy had some bad turnovers too. He just kind of sucked it up and got over it, right? I mean,
well, and that's what you got to do, and that's the one thing where, again, pretty much the same message that Jim brought on that, and it's a good message overall for life, not just basketball, but it's essentially, you don't let a bad day carry into the next day, right? You want to wake up the next day forgetting about the day before if it was bad, and you're conquering the next day as if it's his own challenge, and yesterday didn't matter. And that's what this team is doing, and that's what they're starting to learn as individuals and as a team. And we're going down the home stretch. There's still a small window of opportunity. We're over 500 in the conference, and let's see what they can do.
Yeah,
be a hell of a week.
It's worth noting how quietly Cole Swider nabbed the Ken Pom MVP in his 36 minutes with 18 points. I mean, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, two blocks and a steal, 3 for 5 from 3-point land. Really good. And being more consistent now. And, it took a while, especially on the offensive end, but it took a while, but I feel like he's there. So that's really good. All right. It's time to hear from you.
It's time to hear from you, the loudmouths from the Loud House.
All right, fan feedback is brought to us by the same people that brought us the montage. Ironic enough. Athletic Greens. Tons of people are taking multivitamins. It's important to choose one that is top quality. With one delicious scoop of Athletic Greens, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients helps to support gut health, the nervous system, immune system, energy, recovery, focus, and aging. It's lifestyle friendly, adapting to a wide range of diets. It contains less than 1 gram of sugar and no GMOs, no chemicals or artificial anything. Plus, it costs less than $3 a day. It's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition, especially during cold and flu season. It's just 1 scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/sportsdrink. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/sportsdrink to reclaim the free 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D. Take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutrition insurance. All right, Colorcast. Colorcast is a live audio-only sports talk platform, free to download and use. Talk to us, other fans, athletes, and insiders in real time. Perfect for watch parties, debates, post-game breakdowns, and reacting to breaking news. That's a good one, the breaking news thing. Share your own experiences there on the app, too. You can do your own thing as well, just like at Spotify. All you need to do is download the Colorcast app free in the iOS App Store, create a profile, link it to your Twitter, and join the group or league. Follow us at Cuse Militia to be notified when our room goes live. Like I said, we'll be doing Colorcast stuff aside from the show, maybe some bonus stuff. So, and like I said, we'll get into the video stuff and whatnot. So thank you, Athletic Greens and Colorcast. Let's start with the Twitter. Okay. Excuse me. At If Not Now, when 84, nice seeing everyone in there getting some playing time. If BC actually hit their open looks, we would have been in trouble. Can't take much away from beating up on a crappy team. On to the next. Go Cuse. Well, I agree to a certain extent. We've seen crappy teams, Colgate, hit threes on us. Colgate's, I understand they're doing good in the Patriot League, but if you can hit threes, we're done. And yeah, if they hit them, we would have been in trouble, but they didn't. So the defense actually did a good job. They were flustered. They're not a 18% 3-point shooting team. So coming into this game, I believe they were, let's see, what were they, Joe? You remember? They were low 30s anyway, if I remember right. So, okay.
Yeah, not a good shooting team. And honestly, we shot over 50%. So if we shoot over 50%, there's a good chance we're going to be able to win the game, especially when we're playing against a team that doesn't have great offense. And their best part of their game is their defense. And if we put up 76 points and then our defense shows up a little bit, then we probably got that game, especially if we shoot 50%.
Yeah, and they're a 30% 3-point.
I don't care how bad a team is. If you shoot 50%, you're. That was a good day. Yes. No matter the competition.
Oh man, I would pick this guy. At Sip of Weinberg, I believe. I think. Defense was fine. BC isn't a good team and couldn't take advantage of open shots. Good win, but lots of work to do if we're going to pull off a win against Notre Dame or Duke. Look, I don't know about Duke. Looking ahead here, we played Miami really tight the first time. right? And 1 point loss. Notre Dame, but it's kind of tough. But North Carolina, dude, they've got to be the most inconsistent team in the ACC right now. So
yeah, they're all over the place.
Yeah,
and again, I'm
totally.
at the point now where I'm one game at a time right now at this
Oh,
point.
absolutely, yeah, I know.
You got to be.
You got to be. But when you look at this, Georgia Tech, you have to win that game, and we'll talk about it. Notre Dame's going to be tough. Duke's obviously tough. North Carolina and Miami, both can be really good, but especially North Carolina, I've seen them be just absolutely terrible. So
yeah, well, if there's a positive to say about the last 4 games, it's that we most likely are playing the right teams at home and the right teams away. I know that North Carolina's got a pretty good record on at home, but as far as if you wanted to pick 2 teams out of that to where you'd rather play at home versus away, close between Notre Dame and Miami, but you definitely want that Duke game home. So
yeah, right, we already did the away thing with that. So yeah, that's never easy. At @JBurgett_13, seems like Sidibe gained some confidence in his knees throughout the game with some of the plays he made. Yeah, to our point earlier. The way he closed out, he got up high, landed easy, and was quick. And I was nervous for some of it as I was watching it. I was like, please, Lord, no. Do not. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's the thing, right? Is in one instance, you're like, all right, just go all out. This is but at the same time, as a Syracuse fan and someone who wants to cheer for this guy, again, you want to go all out, but the last thing I want is, to just see a career-ending thing on the court because, you know what I mean? So I don't want to see that. And again, when you saw him close out, the same thing that I talked about that Frank did well, that Jesse did well, that I didn't think Frank was going to be able to do.
Right.
Barama goes out, and you want to know why? Because he knows the system. He knows the rotation.
Exactly.
So he started out because he's not as quick as Frank, but he knew in his head where to be. So he had the reaction time, and he had that quick one extra step because he knew where he was supposed to be. He ran out there. He blocked the 3-point shot, jumped up in the air, came in, landed into the bench.
Yeah.
And everything was fine with his knees. So when I saw that, I was like, okay.
And it
because
just
as if you've ever been an athlete that's had some type of injury, it takes a while for you to gain confidence back. And at a play like that, it will give that athlete confidence that, oh wow, I can do these things again.
It just is. It's good to see, to know that dynamic isn't totally gone with Frank in there, and it gives Frank some time to maybe learn it a little bit. And if he's having a rough go at it, you've got those extra fouls too. He got in foul trouble early. That was another issue. He got 2 pretty quick, and
it's tough to bitch about the refs.
No, I didn't think the refs were terrible.
Crap. It was just
there was one called on Sidibe that I put on Twitter. I recorded it off the TV and put it on Twitter. Dude, he literally goes up for a rebound, doesn't get it, turns around and walks away. And the dude from Boston College catches the ball and falls to the ground, and Sidibe gets called for the foul. I'm like, what the hell happened? I thought they were calling a travel. They called a foul.
Pretty late whistle there.
Yeah, it was terrible, and there was a couple other ones too. But when you put the officiating in perspective for the year, that wasn't a terrible game. You're gonna miss a couple here and there, and it is what it is. But compared to the rest of the year, not that bad. I'm
expecting not good and inconsistent at this point every time.
Exactly. Matthew on the Facebook. And he just gives us the picture. You guys know the iconic picture of Coach sleeping in the chairs during practice. It's a beautiful sight, and it sums up the game perfectly because not that exciting. I'll take a boring win over a thrilling loss any day, but Matthew wins with the picture of Coach because that was me on my couch.
Oh, dude, I was hoping you were going to bring that up because it's too early to start drinking and get a couple beers and get fired up, right? It's just Boston College,
right?
And then at the same time, it's just like one of those boring games where you're just winning by double digits the whole time, but it's not
led from start to finish. Never lost the lead.
It's not necessarily the best brand of basketball, right? So
no, especially with the start when the offense was just on both sides was ugly, So really funny. Really good
No, I
stuff.
felt that.
Yeah,
saw
I think
that,
everybody
laughed.
did, and it showed in the fan feedback, and Matthew gets it. So.
Oh yeah.
Gerard on Facebook, nice game. Why I had to watch softball instead of the beginning of the Syracuse Boston College is baffling. Yeah, I'm like looking at this and I'm like, please Lord, tell me there's not 9 innings.
And it was a
in
blowout
softball.
game, right?
I don't know. So truth be told, I had to go pick up my 15-year-old at lacrosse practice at noon. When lacrosse practice runs over every day, regardless.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to go find balls and all that crap, So anyways, I came back home and I start fast forwarding and I'm like, oh my gosh, did I record the wrong thing? Because it was on so long. So anyways, I just kept going. But I mean, I saw it was in the 6th inning. I'm like, please, Lord, tell me that there's not 9 innings to this because I had no idea. Not really a softball fan. So.
Only 7, right?
I have no idea. I saw 6 and I just fast forwarded until it was over.
Well, I mean, I have YouTube TV, right? So when I record it, it just records when the game starts.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Is it? Because I just turned it on and all of a sudden it was 9-5 with 14 and a half minutes to go and I didn't know any of what had happened. So,
right. Well, no one did.
Yeah. Well, and again, it was probably one of those situations where go to ESPN Plus if you want to watch blah, 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 but you don't know unless you're watching it live, right?
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, like, this doesn't make any sense to me. Like, ACC has its own network. Like, if you pay for ACC network through a cable provider, there should be some type of app where you can go in and you can stream any ACC game you want.
They didn't even show basketball until like 4:00.
I know.
What were they doing? It's like, is it like a not a copyright thing, but like a rights thing?
All about money. It's got to be.
Yeah, it's got to be because ESPN had the game or whatever, so they've got to be the ones that show it. But
and you know what?
Go ahead.
If you're gonna do that as like a major corporation, please have the wherewithal of like if it's a blowout, like go to the game, go to the game that's about to start. Like have some wherewithal about what's going on.
Something.
It's a softball game and it's a 7-inning game. Or a 7-run game. Like, let's go to the ACC basketball. You know what I mean?
Same
like,
thing with the basketball games. Put them on ESPNU.
That's the same with football.
Yeah, and
Wasn't there one in football where we were sitting there watching like a team pretty much run the clock out as they're up like 4 touchdowns one time? Wasn't it the Rutgers game or something?
Yeah.
I feel like it was something early.
I do remember a football game that was bad. Yeah. Well,
just change it.
Here's the other thing. Look, it is Daytona 500 Sunday, okay? And NASCAR and Fox do this thing. It's, brilliant but simple. They do a side-by-side. When they run commercials, they show the commercial on one half, play the audio from the commercial, and put the race on the other half. Like,
so you can watch it during a commercial?
So you can watch it during a commercial, but you can't hear it. Isn't that brilliant? I mean, hello, ESPN. If ESPN has not been able to figure that out by now, they might want to start thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's not that difficult. Yeah. We have all the technology in the world these days to do that kind of stuff. Stupid. Yes. So thank you, Gerard, for your comment. Mike took care of business. Hope Benny's okay. So I didn't see this, but a couple of people were I saw on socials were saying that Benny left the game holding his wrist. Okay.
Yep.
So I didn't notice it myself. Nothing was mentioned in the press conference about it. I haven't seen anything on any of the Syracuse media sites. So I'm hoping it's fine, but. I hope he's okay, obviously. Hoping it's fine.
No,
so it could have been nothing.
I think it happened when he got fouled there at the end when he went to the free throw line.
Mm-hmm.
And he landed kind of the same way as Jesse.
Oh, boy.
And you could see it when they were like kind of the video and everything, and they were doing, the handshaking lines and everything. You're going through, and like as he was like walking to the locker room, you could see him kind of like messing with his wrist, and he had it like down to his side, not really moving it that much. Yeah, like so. That's what I'm assuming he's talking about. I saw that too at the end of the game.
Dan with 2 N's mentions it too. Benny walking off holding his wrist. 3 question marks. Yeah. Well, we will have to keep our eye on that. Obviously, we'll probably know more tomorrow as we got a couple quick turnarounds in games, and I hope he's okay. Obviously. But how ironic would it be to have two guys with severe wrist injuries at the end of the year like this? Top fan Steve on the Facebook. Hope they saved some for the stretch run. Thankfully, Sidibe contributed good minutes. Rusty, but good. Absolutely. And that's the story of the day. And I don't know if anyone saw it coming. I know I didn't. So, look, I love surprises. And that was a great surprise. So.
No, good surprises.
Yes. Well, right. Yeah. I was surprised about Jesse too. Not necessarily happy about that one. Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. Let's talk about Georgia Tech. Now, the last time we came here and did a post-game and pre-game preview, Georgia Tech was 15th in the ACC. The all-time series between Georgia Tech and Syracuse sits at 7-7. Can you believe they've only played 14 times? It's kind of crazy. The last time the teams met was February 27th, 2021. We lost 84-77. Gerard Boeheim, Dolezaj, Guerrier, Griffin, your starting five. Griffin with 26 points, but it obviously was not enough. This year, though, Ken Pom has them ranked 164th with an adjusted offense ranked 246th. And an adjusted defense ranked 99. He being Ken Pine, by the way, he's predicting a 79-68 win for Syracuse at home. Georgia Tech is sitting 12th in the ACC now at 11-5, 4-11 in ACC play, and they're coming off of a win yesterday against Pitt, 68-62. Before that, though, they dropped 3 in a row to Miami, Virginia, and NC State. This team, they struggle to score a little. They average about 69 points a game. They turn the ball over quite a bit. So they're averaging about 14 turnovers a game. But their averages from the floor and from three aren't bad. 44% from the floor and 36% from three. If you only saw those numbers, you would think they wouldn't be ranked, 246. But here we are. Georgia Tech is 156th in the net rankings, making this a quad 3 game at home. I got to have on a quick turnaround. Couldn't finish up some of this last run with two better opponents, being Boston College and Georgia Tech, in my opinion. Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we've looked at this as another team that we have to beat. And to be perfectly honest with you, I watched the end of this game yesterday with Georgia Tech and Pittsburgh. And at one point, 10 minutes to go, Georgia Tech was up by 16. They kind of had it handled, and Pittsburgh went on a 15-3 run, and they really got it close near the end there. And Georgia Tech, yeah, I mean, it took everything within them to pretty much hold on to that game. We know Michael DeVoe, a couple names that we're gonna, remember from the past. Jordan Usher's another one. Bless you. And other than that, they got a couple guys that, are coming in. Kalen Moore, Sturdivant, Howard. He's a 6'10 center. And when you look at Usher, 6'7", their other forward, Moore, 6'7". And then they have a couple guards that come off the bench as well. This is a team that is their strength is their defense, just like Boston College's. And they struggle to score minus, Jordan Usher's pretty gritty around the rim. He's going to be able to board and be down there with Swider and Jimmy, and giving him fits. And then obviously, I mean, DeVoe is kind of like the one-man wrecking crew. So those are the guys, obviously, that you got to look for. They're the only guys that average double digits, and they're the only guys that really shoot a bunch of threes. I mean, there's other guys that shoot them, but those are going to be the guys that you're going to want to watch on the perimeter too, as far as Usher and DeVoe. So again, what really worries me here is that they do have some defensive guys that could give them troubles because they aren't the smallest team. I mean, like I said, a guard that's 6'7" with Usher, forward that's 6'7" with Moore. That's who's going to be guarding Jimmy and Cole, and they're going to have the athletic advantage. And Howard is 6'10", 246 senior. So he's a grown man down there. So he's going to have a weight advantage, strength advantage over whoever we have at center. And Michael DeVoe is a 6'5" guard. Sturdivant's 6'2", so I see Sturdivant guarding Joe Girard and DeVoe at 6'5" and lengthy. at guarding Buddy. So Buddy's not going to have an easy matchup. But I think, honestly, with this team, where we can get them is the bench. I think that we're a little bit deeper than they are as far as, guys that can come in and help. As far as some things that I can see, just some younger guards that come off the bench. And everyone's really just young. So Pastner really didn't hit up the transfer portal the way that a lot of these other ACC teams did, and he elected to kind of stay young but stay with his guys. And, maybe that's something that could end up helping the continuity of that team and him going forward in the future. But as far as this year goes, it seems like it's kind of been a wash. I know that dealt with some injuries as well. But, again, up until yesterday when they beat Pittsburgh, they were in last place in the ACC. It's a team that we should beat, no problem, especially at home. And yeah, I mean, that's really all I got. I mean, we got to play pretty bad to lose to this team. If we bring it defensively like we did yesterday, and we can just shoot a decent percentage and be average on offense, then we should be able to take care of this team.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, so obviously, I think with the way they turn the ball over, that has a lot to do with their adjusted offense, I'm assuming. But like I said, do they just not take a ton of threes, Joe? Because they're not average. I mean, they're at like 36% from three.
No,
it's not terrible.
6 to 18 against Pittsburgh, and that's what I mean is that this could be a team where, I mean, I would like to think that Pastner is a good enough coach to not let them, get lulled into shooting threes. But no, they really don't shoot a lot of threes. But I also don't think that they have the offensive guys and really the experience against the zone to be able to score that great down low either. So, I mean, only time will tell. I haven't seen enough of them, but I'm just looking at their schedule, their record. It's obviously a team that struggles offensively. And coming in and playing against the zone, especially if you're not used to it or if you haven't had a couple years experience against it, which, again, I see Usher and I see DeVoe, and I feel like Moore is a guy that has gotten some minutes in the past. But when you take those three away, I don't know how much these guys have seen the zone. And they really don't have depth as far as height at all. So if Howard gets in trouble as a center, then I don't know where they're going to go. I mean, that's going to be an opportunity where we could probably go small with Jimmy and then maybe get some mismatches. So, I mean, we'll see. But it's all going to be about where we can find the mismatches on defense and how they match up with us. Because, if they make us struggle on the offensive end, which they can on defense, then it could be one of those long games and probably, one of those games where it's like, this shouldn't be this close, this far into it, that kind of thing. As much as we all want to get, have an exciting game, I wouldn't mind this one kind of going the same way as Boston College.
Oh, yeah.
So they ain't got to worry about it on a Monday night,
Yeah, don't get me wrong either. I mean, like I said, I'll take a boring win any day. Then
a loss. Yeah,
yes,
for sure.
Absolutely. Thrilling wins tax me just as much as you know what I'm saying? So, So as far as the old ticker and anxiety goes, sometimes it's nice to sprinkle these games in here. So that brings us to this, Joe. Last game I predicted 82-72. You predicted 75-62. So you lowballed it, which was the smart move because you ended up winning that game. So you take a 2-game advantage over me. Currently, I'm 5-7-1. You're 7-5-1. So I went first last time, Joe. So you are up. You're up. You give us your prediction for Georgia Tech at home against Syracuse.
Okay. Again, I think it could have been worse on Saturday if we wanted it to be, and I think tomorrow is probably going to be a situation where it's going to be a little bit tougher in the beginning, but I think we'll get the lead. We'll see more of the bench, and I don't think I'm going to go as high as Ken Pom did, but I'm going to say Syracuse wins 72-62.
Okay. Would you say 72? Oh, wow. That's amazing. Because as you know, I've already written mine down. I'm just going to tell it to you. It's 78-62. So
Okay.
So we'll have to see. That'll be interesting. So, yeah, I'm going to pick Syracuse 78-62. I think, like you said, this is going to be, what did Ken Pum say? He said 76-56. Yeah, I don't see them only scoring in the 50s. I just feel like at some point, Syracuse has a lull on defense, and sometimes I'm banking
They'll
on
hit
at least
some
60.
shots.
Yeah, absolutely. So
they'll hit some shots. They'll get some fast break points off of turnovers. Like, that's just something we give to almost everybody.
But here's the thing. That's true. In those, it's going to add some points for them, more than I think they're probably predicted to have. But Syracuse, over the past few games, man, they've been doing a tremendous job of getting other teams to turn the ball over. And they're getting in the passing lanes now, and you're just seeing a little bit more efficient defensive look from Syracuse. You could tell they're doing a hell of a better job.
More consistent.
Yes, more consistent. And with the amount of times they're getting in the passing lanes a lot. I mean, Buddy had 5 steals last game, and I don't know what we are going back, but I mean it's been way more active and handsy than it's been all year, and at the right time too. So, 78-62 Syracuse is my guess, and we'll just have to wait and see. The only piece of information we don't have is when this game, what TV this game is going to be played on.
I looked, and again, this is one of those Yes Network situations. So
okay, all right. So maybe.
So it's going to be a situation where people are going to be probably asking if you're going to stream. I do know, and I don't know one way or another, but if you have any friends out there that have Yes Network and they're willing to give you their Time Warner passcode, you can download an app called Bally Sports, and you can stream that game with said person's password. But that's if you have a friend or family member that's willing to give you that access because they have Yes. But it's Yes Network, and it looks to me like unless you have Yes Network, or unless you have DirecTV, or unless you do what I just said, or unless you watch on stream tomorrow, you're probably not going to see it. So.
Well, I mean, the stream tomorrow would be tough. Will be tough because I may be able to set up a stream, and that's a total possibility. But I will not be in here because my lovely wife has missed the last 3 games due to work, and she's going to want to watch the game with me. And I don't blame her. I'd want to watch the game with me too if I wasn't me. So,
God,
I mean, I don't blame her at all. So, if that's going to be the case, I will work on setting up. The camera and do my due diligence because I love you guys. That's why. So, if you're having an issue and you know you're going to have an issue, go to Facebook. That's where I do it. And I will announce it on there once I get confirmation if that's what we need. And trust me, if we need it, people will let me know. So
I'm pretty sure we're gonna.
They always do, and I appreciate them for giving me the heads up because I get all the games. I don't ever have to worry.
I'm giving you the heads up.
Okay, Joe.
Article on Syracuse.com.
Okay.
It's going to be on Yes Network. That is the situation.
Okay, that is the situation. Joe has confirmed. So I will work on getting the camera set up. You can watch it, not with me, but from my TV here in the lovely Cuse Cave where we do the show, where I do the show. Joe doesn't do it in here. Maybe someday.
No. Maybe.
Okay. Well, look, that is going to wrap things up for us this afternoon/evening. We appreciate all of you for joining us. Syracuse, can they take care of business at home? Let's hope so. I think they can. For Joe, I'm Sean. We're out of here.
Go Orange.
Seriously, Joe? No peace? Nothing? That's how you're going to end this thing?
I said go Orange.
I don't like it.
Peace.
That's better.
Peace.